Hey there, Internet fam. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be diving into the Russia hoax from the Obama administration, their involvement, and what's coming down the pipes from the DNI and from the Trump administration. So we're going to watch a video, see what they have to say, see some of the evidence, and then as always, I want to get your guys' take on the other end. Let's dive on in.
It's easy to forget how outrageous all of this is, so we thought we'd highlight the biggest revelations, starting with what the Director of National Intelligence was saying back then. Right after the election, DNI James Clapper wrote the following on December 7th of 2016. Quote, "We assess that foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential outcome this year."
So this was the original intelligence report that he's talking about now. This is before anything was changed, before anything was skewed. This is originally what was said. We did not see Russia using cyber attacks on election infrastructure.
We have no evidence of cyber manipulation of election infrastructure intended to alter results. Fast forward to 2019, and Clapper was singing a different tune after then Attorney General Bill Barr said the Trump campaign was spied upon.
I thought it was both stunning and scary. I was amazed at that and rather disappointed that the Attorney General would say such a thing. He just has a feeling that there was spying against the campaign. We're losing sight here of what started all this, and that was the Russian meddling, the Russian interference in our election process. And the Russians pose a profound threat to this country.
So here's the scary thing to me. I mean, this jumps out right away for a lot of people, I'm sure. It's amazing that they will just lie straight to your face. So as the Director of National Intelligence, he would have known that this was false. He would have known that the interview that he was giving right now is false, and that they don't actually have the concrete evidence to back this up, and that the reports were doctored according to what's coming out now with DNI. I can't say anything for sure, obviously, but according to what's coming out now and what's been declassified and the documents that Tulsi Gabbard has released, this is all false. So he's on TV not only lying to Anderson Cooper, but straight lying to the American people. That's what sticks out the most to me. That's what scares me the most about all this, right?
So that's from no evidence to profound threat. That's quite a leap. And what about President Obama? A declassified document dated December 9th, 2016, reveals the intel community was working to produce a new assessment per Obama's request and seeking participation from the CIA, FBI, NSA, and DHS. Around that same time, here's what President Obama was saying publicly.
When I look back in terms of how we handled it, I think we handled it the way it should have been handled.
And again, here we go with somebody publicly speaking on something that they know is false.
Unless the American people genuinely think that the professionals in the CIA, the FBI, our entire intelligence infrastructure are less trustworthy than the Russians.
So again, here's the sneaky stuff, right? So he knows what he's saying is false at this point, according to the declassified documents. And here he is openly challenging the American people and their critical thinking skills and making you feel like, well, unless you're saying Russia is more intellectually honest than our CIA and our FBI, but we have grown to distrust those organizations for good reasons. And so here he goes, basically playing off of that, playing off your emotions, playing off the words that he's using when he knows he's openly lying and that Russia had nothing to do with it.
Then people should pay attention to what our intelligence agencies say.
As for anyone questioning why a new assessment was ordered, they were quickly silenced. This from a late December 2016. Quote, due to the ODNI whistleblowers questioning his leadership about why an IC assessment was being created that contradicted multiple IC assessments.
So here it is with a whistleblower. It's not even saying that there's one assessment that contradicts another assessment. It's one assessment that's being created that contradicts multiple other assessments. So again, this is prefabricated. This This is something they decided to do. This is something they came up with. This wasn't an accidental thing where, oh, I read the report wrong. That one report was close to this one, and we got it wrong, and we switched some information out. Maybe something happened along the way, right? No, this is one assessment that goes against multiple other assessments. It's crazy.
Assessments, the whistleblower is immediately removed from emails regarding the drafting of Obama-ordered IC assessment. Former FBI Director James Comey had no problem sticking by the intelligence community.
There should be no fuzz on this whatsoever. The Russians
And look at the level of coordination, right? I mean, we looked at the Director of National Intelligence. Now then we looked at Obama, who was the president at the time, and ex-president when he gave that interview. And now we're looking at Comey, who was the FBI director. I mean, the coordination alone should scare you. The coordination alone should make you scratch your head. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I really don't. The coordination amongst different agencies in our government like this, scary. Very scary.
Feared in our election during the 2016 cycle. They did it with purpose. They did
the coordination in a lie, of course. We want them to be coordinated on things that are actually true and matter.
it with sophistication. They did it with overwhelming technical efforts. And it was an active measures campaign driven from the top of that government. There is no fuzz on that. It is a high...
I don't know about you guys, but in my experience, anytime somebody has to tell me they're not lying or there's no fuzz, there's no lies, and the more times I have to tell you that, usually you can guess something dishonest is going on, right?
High confidence judgment of the entire intelligence community, and the members of this committee have seen the intelligence. It's not a close call. That happened.
Joining me now to dig further into this is CEO of the Federalist, Sean Davis. Great to see you, Sean. So, no fuzz about it.
No fuzz.
Yeah, it turns out there was a lot of fuzz about it. And it's fascinating what we're learning, 8 years later. That by itself is a scandal, that it took 8 years for us to learn this information, that there was actually a great deal of debate within the so-called intel community about the nature of the Russian threat. We now know that there was a lot of doubt about this idea that Russia was desperately trying to help Trump to win, that it was this some sort of profound technological effort. Based on what we know, based on the intel community's own words, there were no real cyber attacks to change votes or go after infrastructure. And we also know that the extent of their technological...
So Sean Davis here is saying that we know that there was no attacks, that we know that this is all false, that we know that it was never Russia who had the capability or maybe even the interest, who knows, to actually change votes within our system.
Chicanery and shenanigans came down to some Facebook ads and some Twitter memes.
Right.
And so it's just fascinating looking back in hindsight and seeing the efforts that these people, Comey and Brennan and Clapper, these corrupt people, the efforts they went to delegitimize Trump's victory, number one. That was the first goal. And then the second goal is to cripple his administration and cripple his presidency. That's the scandal here.
So these people think that we're so stupid, Obama, Clapper, they think that we're so dumb that they can just lie to us and continue to lie to us, and we're just never going to find out, and we're just going to soak it up. In a lot of ways we did. A lot of people did, right? It worked well. A lot of people still believe in the Russia hoax. A lot of people still believe that Russia won Trump's election for him in 2016 somehow. I mean, it is ridiculous the lengths that they'll go through.
And I feel like that effort is still ongoing. And I want to show a clip real quick of the effort to smear Tulsi Gabbard. And when you look at these documents now, it makes you kind of wonder if maybe this isn't what they were afraid of when they tried to brand her a Russian asset. Watch this.
Keep in mind, Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat when a lot of this went on. I do remember this happening, and Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat during this time.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's a favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far.
Also a reminder that
So now here we go, Hillary Clinton's in on it. So now we're bringing Hillary Clinton into the fold, which they say her campaign was responsible for a lot of this stuff anyways. Again, we can't say for sure on this channel, but it makes you think, right? And the news seems to have their theory.
That just 5 minutes ago, Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat in good standing.
Yeah, and it's fascinating when you know what Hillary did. Remember, the whole narrative was Trump was owned by the Russians wanted him to win, he was colluding with the Russians. It turns out, in fact, the only campaign that was actually working with someone who was on the payroll of Russians was Hillary Clinton. She hired Christopher Steele to go do this dossier. Her campaign paid for that. Christopher Steele, at the exact same time, was working on behalf of a sanctioned Russian oligarch. And it's fascinating. You mentioned at the beginning this Senate Intel Committee report that came out. I think it was Fox News that reported early on in 2018 that Mark Warner, who was the co-chair of that committee, was having back-channel negotiations with a lawyer for that Russian oligarch.
And I want to take this a step further. I mean, look at where we're at with Russia today. Fast forward to today and look at where we're at with Russia and where Russia's at with the West. And we are the leaders of the West, right? I mean, I'm not excusing anything Russia's done, and I am no way a fan of Putin. But, I mean, if you get blamed for things, I mean, how does that make you feel when you're blamed for things that you didn't do? How does that make you feel when you're brought into the fold, right? It definitely doesn't bring you in. It pushes you away more, right? It pushes you towards finding other routes to do business, towards finding other countries to have favorable relationships with. I mean, we definitely did not help ourselves in the cause with Russia. We absolutely did not. Are we to blame for what they're doing now? Absolutely not. Do we want it to stop? Absolutely. But we definitely didn't help. We didn't help the cause, that's for sure. I mean, look at all these leaders of the country basically tearing Russia down and accusing them falsely too. It wasn't only Trump that was falsely accused, it was Russia and Putin as well.
Trying to set up secret back-channel communications with Christopher Steele himself. So there's a reason Democrats are furious at people like Tulsi Gabbard coming out and actually giving us transparency, because they know when the documents come out and when the intel community is transparent, their goose is cooked.
Right. It is kind of remarkable to think of what the Kremlin must be thinking. All they had to do is buy a couple of Facebook ads, and then they sit back and they watch the entire Democrat Party do all of their propaganda for years. Sean Davis, thank you so much.
That's the end of the video clip, guys. I don't know what to say. I really hope that they bring all the documents to light, that everything has its day in court. Everybody deserves justice, and everybody deserves to be held responsible and accountable for their actions. So if there was wrongdoing done, which it definitely looks like there was, we need indictments, which they say that are coming now. There's going to be a probe done by a grand jury based on all the articles and all the information that was sent over to the Department of Justice from Tulsi Gabbard. That was the referral that she sent over. So we'll see what comes in the coming days, and we'll track it. But let me know your thoughts, what you guys think, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.